Yo, morning guys. So just got to the spot. Today we are diving. We left the city like 6:45ish. It's like 8 now. It's one of those farther places to get to, harder to reach. But the reality is nowadays we're in a competition with boats. Like I said, we just got here at 8 and there's already a boat moored. And then as not even 5 minutes after we getting here, another off-island boat moored. I think they're more in the area we wanted to dive in. It's kind of hard, but I mean that's the reality we're faced with. We just have to make our adjustments. So as far as the game plan, the original game plan was go out to this underwater island and first check the ulua holes. And then if there's no uluas, then usually there's like ninuis that Taka can shoot or some opelukalas. Sometimes there's a school of opelukalas there. I haven't dove here in at least 2 years. I was pretty hyped packing the truck last night, and then it's kind of hard when you have to compete with boats, but it is what it is. Just gonna stick to the game plan, go check out the hole, check out the island, see what I can see, and then we're not gonna do a 5-hour dive. It's gonna be like more of a 1-2 hour, maybe 2-hour dive. So yeah, with that said, hopefully we can put Taka on ulua. He's been getting umilus, still trying to get his ulua. So maybe today's the day, even with the boats. Let's go say hi to boat number 1. That's boat number 1. Boat number 2 is just over there on the other side of those trees. So yeah, we're gonna suit up, make this hike, and then dive. See you guys in the water.
So, not gonna lie, as much as I was trying to stay optimistic, I was pretty bummed that the boats were there. We had left early, like 6 a.m. early, rock crawled for nearly an hour and a half, only to see boats in the spot we wanted to dive in. It's not like we could just drive to another spot because the north and west sides was pretty pumping, and our usual dive spots is on the western side. On a plus note though, right before we jumped in, the boats did unhook from their mooring and drove off. I'm not sure if it's because they were done scuba diving or they just saw us about to start our dive, but for whatever reason, I felt a little better and gratified that they had left. So this was my first drop of the day. It's at 65 feet, and I just wanted to see how my drops was feeling. And on this day, I was feeling really good. So for me, this is why I brought Taka to this spot. He's been diving for a few years now, and I really want to help him get on his first lure. Last year, he successfully harvested a few good size of milu, and I know he's been itching for his opportunity at an lure. So this was the main focus of just trying to get Taka on his lure. Here I'm showing him where the hole is and trying to get him to drop onto the hole. I follow him to the bottom in hopes that if he does have an opportunity, then 1, I can catch it on film, and 2, can immediately put a second shot if needed. Unfortunately though, he's looking in the wrong hole. There's a small dark hole in front of him, but he should be approaching the big hole that was right in front of him. Nevertheless, nothing was home on this day. Afterwards, Taka went after some inui that we had passed up, and I went to another hole to check out. Nothing was home, but prior to checking it, a small uku had come out and headed to the depths right as I got there. So I followed the uku out to the depths and made my first drop down to 62 feet. This day, there wasn't much current and my drops were feeling much better than my previous dive during the ski prong under the surface dive. I felt more relaxed and focused, and Overall, my breath just felt so much more comfortable. I kind of land on this small rubble and push forward just a little onto the sand. That way, I'm a lot more comfortable and can stay down longer. I scan the area, and as you can see, I have to work on moving my head less and a lot more slowly. Here, I made a slightly deeper drop to 70 feet and I land wrong. I'm on this slight slope, but just enough to make me uncomfortable. I knew instantly I should have just moved forward, not sure why I didn't, but I decided to just abort the dive and try again rather than expending all that energy in an uncomfortable position. I swam a little forward in hopes to find the uku, and I did. I make this drop at 64 feet, and thankfully, this little uku makes it super easy for me. I decided to pull the trigger on this smaller uku because it is legal spearing size. It weighed in at 3.5 pounds, which legal spearing size is 1 pound, and this was more than enough for me and my family. I could make my sashimi, and my wife would make soup with the head, and we'd just marinate the center bone and toss it into the oven. Being able to harvest this small uku for me meant everything. I can't even express how happy and grateful I was at this point being able to land this uku. I know it's not the biggest, but I didn't care. Honestly, one day I'll have an opportunity on a prehistoric uku, and I'll patiently wait for that day. Until then, I'm just more than satisfied with this uku. I know my wife will enjoy it just as much, maybe even more than I will. On the way in, we came across several more small ugus, and here one of them kept circling below us. I threw my spoon in hopes to attract it long enough to get a dive bomb on it. I waited till the spoon is almost to the bottom, and then I make my drop. By the time I get to the bottom, the uku is nowhere in sight. I throw out a couple of grunts to hopefully call him in before I grab my spoon and finally just call it quits.
All right, guys. So that was the dive. It turned out a lot better than it started off, for sure. I'm pretty sure you guys could tell, but I was pretty bummed. I'm almost frustrated that there are boats already here. But as we were jumping in, the boat kind of picked up and left. I'm not too sure if they saw us and decided to, leave. If that's the case, like I'm very grateful. And then to my surprise, we went to where we were planning on going, and the second boat was not there. I guess they didn't even anchor. So yeah, I'm very thankful for that. We went to the underwater island, and then I had Taka check out the holes. There wasn't any uluas, but there was this little uku that was hanging out there. So that was kind of my mission, to chase down that uku, which I got, thankfully. But sadness happened, guys. It seems like I traded in my dive watch for that uku. I'm kind of bummed about that. I think it may have came off when I was struggling with this little taco to dispatch it, because I kept, for some reason, my grip was not there, so it just kept slipping out of my fingers, and I kept yanking it off my arm, and I don't know if it was at that point the taco was holding on to my watch and just ripped off. I'm not sure. I'm pretty bummed. All in all, the water conditions was great. Clarity was great. We got fish. It's still early. We're gonna go home and have lunch with the fam, and so can't complain. Anyway, guys, once again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. See you guys in the next video. Shoots.